Let's get it. This is Life's Essential Ingredients with Jeff and a Mike, where we hope to inform, inspire, and transform lives, one essential ingredient at a time. Welcome to the show. Listeners, we are back and so excited, although it's not the best news. My Pasho is going to be around a little bit more now because his season is over, so don't have to rush off to basketball practice and things. But had a good year and doing a great job building a program at the place where he is coaching. But if you are a new listener, thanks for giving us a shot somehow. And I still pinch myself every time we are season 6, episode 4. How did that happen, Pasho? I don't even know.
Pasho, we have some great guests. That's how it happens, and you do an amazing job.
Okay, that's a good line, especially for Terry Bean coming from Queens, New York today. We will get into you real quick, Terry. But if you are new, our show is part of a nonprofit. The nonprofit's called C4 Leaders, and we're the only nonprofit to utilize the pizza making process to create space for our companions to be seen, heard, and loved. We work with businesses, sports teams, hospitals, churches, anyone looking to rise together. We also write children's books, and then we use the most amazing handmade, hand-tossed sourdough pizza to bring out the best in each other. So check us out at c4leaders.org. But let's get into our guest. Terry Bean, again, coming from Queens, New York, and the best place to find her is through her website, terrybeanauthor.com. So about our guest, author, life executive coach, speaker, and someone who has a deep desire to help all people, especially children, discover the magic within. Terry has always believed in magic and was transformed by it early in her life. Terry has looked at life with optimism, compassion, curiosity, and the belief that anything can become beautiful with the right perspective. Those beliefs have carried Terry through every chapter of her life. Terry studied communications and marketing at the University of Hartford, then began a career in property management and eventually purchased a real estate company and rode that wave until 2007. After the housing crash, Terry explored different online businesses and reinvented herself more than once. But one thing stayed constant: the story she wrote in 2014, a magical little tale she knew one day would come to life. That story became Abracadabra, Terry's new children's book, which we will explore in this episode. Terry, thanks for sharing your many gifts and talents with people all over the world, and thanks for being our guest on Life's Essential Ingredients. Welcome to the show.
Absolutely, and thank you two gentlemen for having me. It's wonderful to be here. I'm looking forward to our conversation for sure.
Yeah, no, it's going to be great. And listeners, I mean, sometimes the guests that we interview are rolling in, coming out of a meeting, and they're like, hey, we got to go. And, everybody has a different kind of beat to how they're moving. Definitely with Terry, not to say that she doesn't have a lot of stuff going on, but you can feel her spirit just in the couple minutes we were sitting talking before we came on. So it's going to be a great episode, and you're definitely going to be listening to somebody that just wants to make this world just a little bit better. And Terry, we always start with a thought of the day, which is a quote Mike and I use in a lot of different places in our life. And this one is a special one to me. I don't know if I've used it on the show or not before. I don't think so. And I won't get into the story behind it, but here it goes, and it's from Unknown. What I do today is very important because I'm exchanging a day of my life for it. Why would I pick that one for you?
What I do today, repeat it one more time,
is very important because I'm exchanging a day of my life for it.
Interesting. Exchanging a day in my life for it. It all comes down to presence, right? It really does. It comes down to knowing that the day that we have in front of us is a gift. The minute we wake up and we hit the ground, as Wayne Dyer says, you say, thank you with your 2 feet. Thank you. You build into your day. You intend on a great day. You have some affirmations that you can sprinkle in the morning that pre-paves a wonderful day, right? And today is all you have. This moment right now is all we really have. We don't know about the next moment, right? So every moment is a gift. And that's my perception of life in a nutshell, honestly. Yeah.
I love it. So we're 100% with picking these quotes that resonate with the guests, and I'm going to guess we're still at 100%. And we always like to start the show off, and we do it every single time, but just to get the listeners an opportunity to kind of know you a little bit, and you can take this any which way you want, but what was life like growing up?
Ooh. Okay, so I get this question a lot because people ask me about my book and how it came to be, right? So yes, I wrote it 14 years ago, and I thought it was for my life based on that 14 years ago, right? Because I had a lot of cynicism going on around me. Then a friend of mine, just about a month and a half ago, turned to me and said, Bean, which of course everybody calls me, Bean, I didn't realize you went through so much when you were a child. Now I understand why you wrote Abracadabra. And I just stopped and I said, whoa, wait a minute. Did I write this book for me? Is that me in the book? It just turned everything around for me. And I said, got it. Very interesting. So how is life? And this is so funny because the friend of mine is literally calling me right now. She doesn't realize but there she is. She's the one who said it to me. So funny. I have to tell her that. So I was born into a blended family. Now we know what that is today, but back in 63, okay, which is when I was born, I don't even think blended was a term, guys, right? So mom and dad both were married previously. You can imagine me trying to explain this at the age of like 4 and 5. Yeah, no. So they came in with children. So I have half brothers and sisters, not step, which by the way, that whole terminology took me a while to wrap around my brain. And then they had prospective like divorce situations going on, but they had me. So I'm the only child. I'm the one, the connector. I'm the one that tried to mediate. I'm the one who walked into a household along with my sister, but that was filled with a lot of angst and some anger, and fighting. So that picture, the first picture, is of a little girl crying and running away from her home because her parents are fighting on the front porch. And she's going down to a lake and she sees her image in the lake, and that image becomes a sage telling her about the power within her and how she has the ability to create a beautiful, happy life. Okay. When I ran out of the elevator, again, mid-rise, I told you gentlemen before, mid-rise in Queens, when I walked out of the elevator, quite often I would hear just screaming. And all I wanted to do was either run away or run into my room and create happy. Just let me create my own little happy joy area. And I was always that person, I think, because of the family dynamic that kind of was more light around things, maybe not taking things as seriously as just quote unquote you should, which there's another whole line of thinking I could go into, but bottom line is I don't live for many shoulds. I do keep things light. I don't think being an adult has to mean that you're serious, honestly, So I think a lot of us have lost that light. And that's part of what my book is about, is bringing that light into everybody who reads it.
You've used the word beautiful, and definitely in the intro, belief that anything can become beautiful with the right perspective. And maybe you were just speaking about it in that, but where did that come from? Did that come from that little girl of just wanting to create a whole different world? Or was that something later on as you were the adult version of yourself that you said, I just want to create something beautiful. Do you know where that all stems from?
You know, it's a great question, Jeff, and I'm not sure. I mean, I know that in fourth grade, I mean, I have the story. I don't know if you read it. In fourth grade, I was casted as Mother Nature, which of course now I have a direct connection with her, right? So blame me when it rains and pours and the rest of it. So anyway, when I got on the stage and it was a very messy and ugly world, polluted, at the end, I was in this rose-colored dress with rose-colored glasses. And I really feel like they never truly came off. Like I always kind of had this lightness about me. Not to say I haven't been through a lot of stuff and a lot. Almost lost a friend in Costa Rica. You know, I had just a lot of stuff, but would always be present to the fact that I have a choice in the way I'm thinking about the situation at hand. And yes, allowing the emotion, because that's very, very important to allow whatever emotion that we're in. So as Danny is running in my book, as she's running away from the house and her reflection starts to speak to her, the reflection says, "How are you feeling?" And Danny says, "Very sad." And the reflection says, "It's okay to feel sad, Danny. It's okay." And she just waits a moment. Yet, how do you want to feel? And that's the key question, right? How do we always, all of us want to feel? Because to me, honestly, guys, it's not about the money. It's not about what you have. It's not about the possessions. It's about our health, number one. And secondly, is our happiness, right? So when I think of the word enjoy, E-N, I think of I-N, being enjoy. Mm. So it's a big responsibility, right? That we put on ourselves, and how many people really want to take full accountability for how we're feeling all the time. I don't know, but we have a choice. And if we can teach children and empower them at a young age to understand that they do have what I like to call that wizard inside of them, and to base their choices on how they feel and not always look outside for acceptance, what will happen is they'll get more grounded in themselves. They'll understand what being truly authentic to themselves means, and they will build and create lives that they fall in love with. Mm. Now, you guys live in the States, so you know that about 86% of us who are adults do not enjoy our lives. That's an unbelievably sad stat. And it doesn't have to be. And if we could teach our kids young enough that they have that power to create beautiful, beautiful lives, they will, in fact, because of it, be happier, be kinder, and be more connected to themselves and other people around them. Mm. And that's the legacy, the kind of legacy I'm building and that I want to leave in the world. Through Abracadabra. And
yeah, I love it. You just jumped to the end of the show right there. But I'll ask, why children? Why, at this point in your life, why are you focusing on children? I mean, I got everything that you just said right there, but I just think it's like the tip of the iceberg.
Well, it's interesting because, 6 to 9 is what the book is, but it's not. Every adult that reads this book is going to get it. And when they decide if they want the coloring book, right, they can get that. And there are 2 different exercises in the coloring book that, quite frankly, are both for adults or children. But children are the demographic that has not really experienced empowerment, right? They experience getting told what to do, how to do it, how to count. Yet we have not really taught them how to understand themselves, right? And again, the sooner we do that, the better. So the demographic is perfect. I think it's important. I think what happens is as adults, we start to lose that light, that shine, that belief in ourselves. And right now, guys, it is so poignant. Children they're having a difficult time. They're being hit by so much. I mean, we all are, I get it. But children are still sponges. They're still learning, right? We need as a society to teach them how important touch is. AI is coming in full force and it's bright and shiny, right? And if we don't truly start continuing to get outside and play and enjoy each other, right? And not sit behind a computer all day. Though I love seeing you guys, but you know what I mean. It's not healthy.
Oh, for sure.
Truly, it's just not healthy. And I think that is why our society is going down the line of a lot of mental illness right now. So let's make sure our children grow up believing in themselves and start building and creating lives they love. That will just will create a very, very different society, I believe.
Yeah, and definitely, Mike and I both agree with you wholeheartedly. And Mike's we just said he wrapped up his season, so he's coaching young men that are 14 to 18 years old. I'm helping coach. We've been working with youth for the last 25 years, and so we definitely appreciate having guests on like you that choose to make empowering young people your life's purpose, and definitely we need more and more of it. The more technologically advanced we get, which is great, sometimes the further away we get from just the amazing human capacities, like you mentioned, touch. And
it's amazing you're saying that. I just had this conversation with the 6:30 a.m. podcast this morning, and I said to him, and he was in India, and I said, what's amazing, and what's so powerful is that with all this technology, the whole world is now more connected than ever. We always say that every day now, right? But we're so disconnected to each other.
Mm-hmm.
And why is that? Because we're all so enthralled with our phones and with technology and with social media, which is really messing with kids' brains now in terms of competition and looking outside of themselves to get that approval, right? That it's really time to put the phones down and give each other the respect we all deserve, which is just listening and connecting, literally connecting. I mean, I'm thrilled for Zoom. I'm thrilled that we still have this time and it's opened up a whole new world. This is great. But that touch, really, really important.
Yeah, definitely. I love the last thing, you mentioned light so many times, and then you just, the last time you used the word play. And we just can't get enough into that space, without all these other distractions as adults, to get out there and just play and be lighthearted and remember what it feels like to be a kid with no other kind of worries, and to get out. And so I appreciate you sharing those sentiments. So obviously you got a lot going on in your life. I know you're taking care of your mom, and we'll get into that in a little bit. But you're an author, a speaker, a coach. So you're juggling quite a few things. The show is called Life's Essential Ingredients, and you use the word presence right out of the gate. What tips would you give to the listener who's just trying to figure out what their ingredients are, and how could they, maybe take a step back to add one of those, should they choose, to their life recipe?
Gratitude is such a big thing, and we always hear about that, right? So that's a very, very, very important ingredient. But I'm also a key manifester of things. So a lot of people hold on to that goal, quote unquote goal, right? In fact, someone said to me today, you don't reach for your goals, you reach for habits. Right. So the habit of saying thank you when you step out of bed every day with your feet. Thank you. That's a Wayne Dyer, by the way. That's not me. So thank you. That's a big thing. And that will change vibration, right? Saying a couple of things in the morning. This is another piece in my book, by the way, in my coloring book, where in the back, kids and adults can write just little phrases, little words that they can wake up to so they intend their day. They pre-pave their day. Those two things alone will change what people will experience in life. And this is where abracadabra and magic and wisdom kind of meet each other. Because magically, I promise you, when you start doing some of these things I talk about, the universe and life presents amazing opportunities. Serendipitous things happen continuously, and it is so much fun. And you just become in awe. I mean, complete awe, of how to play and how to have fun with it. And I believe truly that life is supposed to be fun. I'll give your listeners another piece. When we're looking at that goal, as I was saying before, don't attach yourself to the goal. Literally detach yourself from that goal. You don't need to know how to get there or when it's coming. Don't worry that it's not here yet. Just have fun in the process. Have fun in the journey and enjoy it. And you will see, again, magic coming in multiple different ways and things happening that you would never believe.
I love it. I love it. And I do think we can be so outcome based that we do lose sight of the intention behind the actions that we're taking. And I love how you put in intend their day. I was coming up with a couple of thoughts, and habits are good. And so I have this simple line that I like to keep in the back of my mind: build a habit to create intention to live your purpose.
Oh, I love that.
And
I have to write that down.
It's just powerful for me to stay in that space, because sometimes you can be in the habit and not realize what you're doing without the intention, and then having the intention to realize, hey, well, I'm actually taking action towards doing what I'm supposed to be doing on this earth. And so I love to keep that, and I love how you said to intend their day. But let's get into you don't know, but I'm a nurse is what I did for 33 years. And so I love that you're taking care of your mom. And I'm not trying to fast forward here, but both my parents died, and I had the good fortune of, I have a big family, 8 brothers and sisters, including me. And we all were the caretakers, and they were on hospice toward the end. And I was the one that got to give them the medication in the home to take them home, so to say. But talk about kind of, I don't want to put words in your mouth, but just talk about what it is to experience that with your mom. And I know she's 91 years old. What that is to take care of her. And it does, not to sound weird, it does say so much about you as well, to drop everything in your life and to be like, hey, mom needs me, and I'm going to go.
You wouldn't say that when I was 50, because when I was 50, we weren't in communication. So it's amazing that, Mom and I have been through it, right? So I was a pretty rebellious and very independent kid, wouldn't you know? And because I knew straight on that I was just, different in terms of my speak versus my family. A lot of what I was talking about, even at the way I was speaking at 8, was psychobabble to them. Now I think Mom's coming around, especially since I dedicated the book to her, which she had no idea until I brought it to her physically, and she just flipped. So she's a New Yorker. Very challenging is a good word, right? And I think because of my personal development journey, I would not have been able to do what I'm doing today. There'd be no way. I could not. I'd be just a kind of a mental mess over it, A lot of people hold on to that story that doesn't serve them whatsoever. I could have done that, and I did that for many years with her. And it's part of the reason why I spent about 3 years between her and my sister and not communicating whatsoever. I was holding on to that story. Then all of a sudden I delved deep inside and I said, is this really the way I want my mom to go? No. Do I not want to speak to her? No. I lost my dad in 2010. He was my fan, my biggest fan, and I miss him tremendously. You know, my sister lived up here in New York. Her and her husband were going down to Florida, and it was quite obvious that, I was going to be the one. And I said, you know what? Let's do it. Let's do it. And let's have fun with this. Now, did it take a little while? Yeah. Did I have to create what I call agreements and boundaries? Absolutely. Absolutely. Are they sometimes, does she forget those? Absolutely. But how do I choose to react? That's my choice, right? I have to pick my battles. It is like, by the way, having a child. So mom is fun. She's very bright. She's unbelievable at 91. It blows my mind. She's got definitely some issues, that I have to be here for. Yet I've decided that it's a gift to be here. I've decided that whatever her life has been or is now is not up to me to judge. It was her journey and it's her journey now. I'm not here to tell her who to be, to tell her how to be, to tell her where to go. If she wants to do what she does, let her do it. Just give me the peace and the space that I need, and we'll be fine. And then we come together at night, most nights, make her some dinner. We sit down, we play Rummy Cue. She's getting very good at math, and that was her worst subject, by the way. So I keep on saying to her, so Mom, are there any other subjects you want to learn with me? I mean, we just have a lot of fun. So, and sometimes there's a little bit of screaming, but I don't hold on to it. I used to hold on to so much stuff, and she still does. And I get that. But again, how am I going to choose to react to that? Do I just let it kind of go over and I don't even engage? Absolutely. It's the only way for me to survive. And that's okay. Got to make things okay.
Terry, I love that, especially the Rumikyu. We're big Rumikyu fans, by the way.
Oh,
we love it.
watch out.
But my question is for us and everyone listening, yeah, we would have to get together and play.
Yeah, that would be fun.
You got to a certain point where I guess you accepted your mom and all the things. But in those moments when it hits you, how do you get out of that moment and think about, hey, this might upset me? How do you change your mindset? What's the first thing that goes through your mind to kind of flip the script on it?
Well, the first thing that I think we all need to do is just stop. In other words, before the next word comes out of your mouth, the one that you're going to say right away and react with, stop and actually take a breath. Just breathe. Think about it for a moment. We all want to, I don't know what it is nowadays. It's like we're talking over each other and talking at each other and always thinking we're so right that we're going to stand in, we're going to be indignant and self-righteous. And we have Google. So everybody knows everything, right? So this is the process that's going on right now. Now with a 91-year-old, it's not like that. Mom's not even into computers. Doesn't want to see him at all. Just not, Now, am I going to judge that? Not anymore. Again, it's her choice. Yet I feel we have to just slow down. Slow it down. Slow down our brains, slow down the immediate reaction we have. With Mom, I try and be more compassionate. Mom's 91. you know? Would I love it to be a little different? I'm not saying I wouldn't, but it's not. So, okay, how do I want to react to that? Well, let me react with a little bit more compassion towards her because that's what she needs right now. She's going through, it's a difficult stage. I mean, I can see it. I was on with people today whose mom's in dementia, and she literally walked through everything. So now she's not even the mother she knew. And I sat here and I said, "Oh my God, it's gonna happen." And how do I prep my brain for that? Probably through a lot of tears. And allowing our emotions is absolutely key to health, to our mental health.
Yeah, for sure. And you mentioned emotions so often in this episode. And I don't know if you're familiar with Mark Brackett, but he wrote this book a while ago, and it's for everybody, but it's targeted for youth, but it's Permission to Feel. It's have you read that book or aware of it?
No, I haven't. I haven't, but I will write it down.
And he uses this acronym, if I can remember it, but RULER. And it's recognize, understand, label, express, and then regulate. And it's just powerful. And he has all these, 100 different emotions. And he talks about getting into these quadrants that just to help people understand where they are. And it is so important to take time to think about what is it that we're feeling, because often we don't. We just move on to the next thing. And then, unfortunately, you get into, not to get too far off topic here, but one of the things we do with our nonprofit is we do team building and leadership development, and we use sourdough pizza. So we have a pizza truck that we travel the country, and people will make their own pizza. And often we'll get into the space of, well, what are those ingredients that you're choosing to put onto your pizza? And obviously those ingredients at some point in the training will equate to the values. Okay, well, who helped instill those into your life? And do those values still serve the purpose that they once did? Do they taste good? Are they nourishing your heart and your mind, body, and spirit? And if they aren't, we'll make the choice to take them off and make a different choice, and maybe add something that you're wanting to add. And so we're definitely speaking the same language with that. And then so cool for us because it happens in real time. People are making that choice, and then they're going to go out and cook that and then eat what they just made and share it and celebrate the choices that we're all making.
Well, I need the truck here in New York. I am a pizza lover. You're going to have some issues with other pizza lovers who are here in New York because, as you know, New York really does have the best pizza. It's funny. It is my mom's favorite food. Do you know, I used to take phone calls. It's really funny. And one of the questions I used to ask was, what is your favorite food? After working for this company, this is a long time ago, for a month, I realized that 98% of the time it's pizza.
Pizza, oh yeah.
And now you wonder why. I mean, of course, people open up pizza shops all over the place. It's brilliant. They're very good. Yeah. It's very fun. I have a lot of pizza stories, but I'd love to make one with you guys. That would be really super fun. My ingredients, if you'd like to know.
Yeah.
First of all, listen, I would like regular crust, yes, but right now I do gluten-free just because I feel better.
Yeah.
Okay. It's not, I just don't feel as, right? Yeah. And it's a good term for it. And I don't use sauce. Now, again, a favorite pizza would be basically onion, mushroom, and sausage. That was always a favorite pizza when I was in college. That was it, right?
Yeah.
That's what I loved.
Yeah.
With the sauce and the whole thing. Now it's gluten-free. It's only oil. You see people's faces when I say, all I want is olive oil and garlic, and then just throw a bunch of grilled vegetables on it, and I'm happy.
Yeah.
And I'm not a vegetarian, but I was with a vegetarian for quite a while, and I am telling you that my body completely felt differently. I'm back on my green drinks right now for the past 2 days, and I'm amazed at how I'm feeling after being up at 6:30 in the morning.
Nice, nice.
So,
Yeah, my
yeah,
favorite pizza right now is just even though I love the sauce and it's homemade
I
sauce, and then
know.
the pizza is sourdough, so you wouldn't feel the same kind of bloated, which is why you're
Oh,
going to the gluten free. But we make a gluten free
interesting.
pizza as well. But my favorite is just a simple sourdough, obviously dough with some olive oil, some basil, and then
Yes.
some cheese and maybe some onion and mushroom on that, and then a little bit of the
There you go.
Parmigiano Reggiano, my passion.
Yeah. And you have to say it like that, of course, but
Oh,
I love the basil part. Yeah.
yeah,
Not that one.
yeah,
I love basil too. So
yeah.
good stuff. Do you get here in New York with that
We
truck?
haven't made it. We've
Oh,
only
you
gone
need
up
to.
north, Washington, Oregon, LA, to see my Pasho a few times and do some stuff down there. But I have been wanting to do a trip. I just kind of got to just say I'm going to do it out to the Midwest. My dad was from West Virginia,
Oh,
and
wow.
I've never made it out there, and so I want to go and see what his life was like. And I would love to go celebrate with my cousins and stuff that I really
Oh, that
don't
would be
know. That would be a fun way to do that.
absolutely. And what we'll do is just hook up a couple of schools and everything and create a whole event
Oh
as you're
yeah,
coming up and through, you know?
yeah. That would be fun. That would be fun.
Yeah, would
But
be
let's I want
really,
to get
really
on
fun.
and let the listeners know a little bit about your executive coaching and life
Sure.
coach. What and obviously all anonymous stuff, but what do you say are some of the top two or so challenges that you're seeing with the people that you're coaching right now?
It's a great question, and thank you for it. I think more than anything, so many people right now are in America are going through job loss. There are a lot of people who are either going through job loss or they're having difficulty finding jobs, right? So I'm working with a lot of people who are looking to reinvent themselves. Now, I've done so, as you mentioned earlier, so many times, right? And I really have. My resume is so long that usually people ask me what I haven't done versus what I have done, right? So, but I believe that everybody can. It's a matter of believing in themselves and not doubting themselves. And I walk through a process of people getting in touch with what their passions are. Because once you really step into your passion, like you guys are doing your passion right now. I mean, how great is this for you, right? So, and then you tied it in with a non for profit, and then you tied it in with pizza. I mean, it's just brilliant. So, I think all of us have the ability to really create amazing things. And we started our conversation a while ago about that too. And everybody has kind of a secret talent, but getting in touch with that talent and then putting that talent, taking a piece of paper and deciding on how can I monetize that talent, right? Yet not putting intense pressure on ourselves for the money. Just getting into the daily passion of it is what's going to create the funds in the long run, you know? So I have a lot of that with my clients right now. Yeah.
Oh man, that's great. That's great. Again, listeners, we're on with Terry Bean, author.com. So make sure you go to check out her site and get her book. And it's on Amazon and every other place. I know she's on Ingram Spark and got a nice website. I think we're at a pretty good place. You kind of jumped to this. There's another quote that I love from John Austin. The only thing you take with you when you're gone is what you leave behind. Let's fast
Mm.
forward. Let's fast forward 40 years for you, and you're on your deathbed. Hey, your mom's 91. I mean, you got great genes, and you're surrounded by all the people that have been instrumental in your life, and you're getting ready to take your last breath. What is it that you want to leave behind?
I love this question. I wanted to actually write a book about, I was going to call it Golden Nuggets. Someone's going to take this, by the way. And the Golden Nuggets is I was going to go around the world, the whole country and just ask older people because I think they're so wise. And, we throw them to the curb here in America, unfortunately. And I think they just have a lot to give. So number one, what I want to tell your listeners is it's Terry with a Y. It's really important because some people don't get that. So it's Terry with a Y and beanauthor.com. And I think, the first thing that came to me is literally my last breath would be love each other. Love each other. Because that's really what it comes down to. We all want to be loved. We all want to be accepted. And the legacy is, I think, what I'm leaving, which I'm living and leaving. And I believe that the world really can be a different place in 40 years, if we bring up our kids in a certain way and give them the freedom to do what they're here to do, which is also love. So, yeah.
Ah, that's beautiful. Pashito, get us out.
Yeah, Terry, wow, that's pretty powerful. Love each other. That's awesome. Thank you so much for being on the show, and thank you for everything you're doing. We definitely need more people like yourself in the world. So we appreciate it. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you, Mike and Jeff. I really appreciated being here. I hope to meet you someday, whether it's out in California, at your pizza truck, or even here at your pizza truck. But I absolutely want pizza.
Hey, well, we'd love to have you. We'd love to have you. And again, listeners, Terry with a Y, beanauthor.com. It's been an amazing episode and lots of great nuggets. And again, when my head's down, I'm taking notes. So yeah, I'm not on my phone. I got a page and a half of notes that I took from this episode. And so thank you so much for everything that you do. Again, Abracadabra is her book. And go check it out and support her. And thank you so much, Terry.
Thank you. Thank you, gentlemen, again. Pleasure.
All right.
Really
Boom,
pleasure.
baby. That just happened. We out.